We're all aware that it can be kind of a challenge to run a successful small business. I've had my bookkeeping business for over 10 years, and I have been able to keep it going and to hit most of my financial goals. Today I'm going to talk about some of the reasons that I think my bookkeeping business has continued to succeed and survive and exist even through different challenges, different economies, different ups and downs in my life. And I broke this up into things that I did the first 3 months, things that I did the first 3 years, and then things that I did beyond that. So year 4 till 10. So hopefully that should be helpful to you depending on where you're at in your bookkeeping business. So starting out with the first 3 months, this is when my business was getting off the ground. I was like, oh my gosh, should I start a bookkeeping business? I was kind of like trying to work through a lot of the hurdles. And honestly, I think this is one of the most challenging times in starting a business because you haven't yet proven to yourself that it is a viable business. You're just kind of like hoping that it's going to work out. So the first thing I did was I created a really specific plan. So throughout my life, I've usually done goal setting each year. And I like to have kind of a 5-year plan. And this is flexible, but it does kind of give me a direction to move in, even if it can change along the way. So not only did I have that 5-year plan of big goals, I also broke it down multiple times into smaller and smaller goals. So where did I want to be at the end of 1 year? Where did I want to be at the end of the month? And then each week I had a very specific list of things to do. I actually made myself like a visual tracking chart. So I was going to work in my bookkeeping business 2 hours every single day, and then I would give myself a sticker on my sticker chart. And that might sound silly, but do what works for you in motivating yourself to get that to-do list done. The next thing I did in the first 3 months was let go of perfectionism. I really try to adapt the mindset that done is better than perfect. So this can apply to a lot of aspects of your bookkeeping business. Maybe it's making your website. Maybe you're spending hours and hours creating the perfect website when really you just need your phone number on there so clients can call you. Maybe you are waiting to get clients until you have a perfect price list and a perfect contract for them to sign. This is so common, but it really is a hindrance to just getting stuff done. Sometimes I actually have to detach emotionally a little bit because it is easy to see your business as like an extension of you. It reflects on you. If you don't have the perfect website, what are people gonna think? But you might find you're able to be more productive and efficient if you detach a little bit from that perfectionism. Number 3, I was flexible. I honestly didn't know if I was gonna stick with this bookkeeping thing or if I would be able to find clients. And because I hadn't invested like a ton of money, I feel like I was really able to kind of go with the flow. So I had an open mind if someone approached me about like a new kind of project, like some kind of bookkeeping project that I wasn't expecting. Like I would take people's messy boxes of paperwork and kind of sort through them. I did some work for free or for really cheap or for really small businesses. And that flexibility really helped me gain a wide variety of different experiences. And I didn't actually put this on my list, but you really have to be your own cheerleader when you're starting a business because likely you will feel a lot of ups and downs. You'll want to stop. You'll run into things you don't know how to do. And so you really have to self-validate, kind of think on your toes and keep some of that flexibility in there too. Number 4, I had a really strong why. And I have another video that tells the longer version of the story of how I started my bookkeeping business, but the short version is that I had my first kid. I decided to quit my full-time job to stay home with her. However, our health insurance was through my previous job, so we had to figure that out financially. We also had more than $100,000 in student loan debt for my husband's grad school, so we were trying to get out of debt and pay off those student loans. And so my goal for my bookkeeping business was to make $1,000 per month, and that was going to allow me to stay home with my daughter and also help us get out of debt. So I had those things very clear in my mind. My husband and I would talk a lot about getting out of debt. We took a Dave Ramsey class. My daughter was also obviously a huge visual reminder of my goals and my whys. She was a baby. I was with her all the time. So in that beginning stage, I was really hustling. Like I really wanted to make this work. I really wanted to get clients. I was doing anything that I could to get this business off the ground. All right, let's fast forward to years 1 through 3 and what I did to be successful in my bookkeeping business at that time. Number 1 is I got uncomfortable. So I got out of my comfort zone trying to get new clients. So up to about the year mark, I kind of knew my clients. They were in my circles of acquaintances, but I wanted to get a few more clients and a few bigger clients. And for that, I really had to put myself out there. And I'm not like naturally a really outgoing person. I don't want to just go to networking events and like chat with everyone. And I did make a class for you guys all about getting clients, especially if you're kind of like a more shy person. I was able to figure out some strategies that worked for me and get some really good high quality clients that stick with you. That's something I love about bookkeeping, is you don't have to continually get more clients. For the most part, they're going to stick with you for years and years. So that class is called Bookkeeper Marketing Coach. If you're interested, the link is in my description box. Number 2, I did so much research during this time, and this was mostly to like teach myself about bookkeeping. Being a good researcher and a good learner is going to help you out so much. So I had taken a couple bookkeeping classes at the local community college to kind of get the basics, but that did not cover everything that I was encountering with different bookkeeping clients. So anytime I would come across issue, something I didn't know how to do, I would spend hours on YouTube figuring out how to do it, or I would, read forums or ask questions in Facebook groups. This is something that was really time consuming, but helped me out so much in the long run. I will say, if you are willing to invest some money, there are groups and classes that will help you, walk you through this more. I kind of felt like I was on my own and I didn't really want to pay for a class at that time. If you're in a different situation, I do have a class that I love called Bookkeeper Launch. It's linked in the description box below, and they will actually help you with all this stuff. They'll answer questions when you come across questions with clients. They'll kind of do a lot more hand holding. But things in this industry are really constantly changing. So you are going to want to be a good learner, a good researcher. I switched, when I first started my business, I was using QuickBooks Desktop, and now I exclusively use QuickBooks Online. So, that was a learning curve. I had to, switch some clients over, figure that out, get the data from one program to the other. There's constantly advances in QuickBooks. AI is getting a lot of press now this year, but that has been continually growing the last 5 years. I feel like every year there's the question like, is AI going to take over bookkeeping? And it hasn't yet. I've been doing it a long time now. I have a video I'll link for you guys in the description where I talk in detail about AI and the changes that it brings to bookkeeping. And number 3 in these middle years was consistency. So I just kept showing up day after day, showing up for my clients. In that time, I had another kid, so I had to work through that. I got another bookkeeper to cover for me for a little bit. Some clients I handed off to other people that I was ready to get rid of. But I really think part of being successful is just lasting longer than the people who give up. I've seen that in multiple parts of my life. In YouTube, same thing. Like some people I started a YouTube channel at the same time as, but they just haven't consistently made videos, and I just make a video every week. And same with my bookkeeping business. I might not be like the fastest growing like bookkeeper or YouTube channel, but I'm very consistent. Let's talk about years 4 through 10 of running my bookkeeping business. This is when I feel like I was really able to gain way more confidence. I kind of hit a stride, and I actually started saying no to things that I didn't want to do. So number 1, I became more specialized. I started figuring out what aspects of bookkeeping I liked and what I didn't like. So I've said this before, I don't love doing cleanups. I don't like the kind of the chaos of cleaning up someone's really messy books. I do not like dealing with paper. So like I said at the very beginning, I would take any project. I would take a giant box of receipts and organize those. Now I would probably say no to that project. I would also only take a client that uses QuickBooks Online at this point, because it's easier to know fewer things and to be more specialized. Then you learn those things better, you can better serve your clients, and you're not constantly learning and having to do all that research that I talked about that I did at the beginning. And of course, I'm still learning things every year, but it's less dramatic as it was at the beginning. Number 2, I became more profitable. With that specialization, I also kind of found a niche that I liked. So I'm a bookkeeper for lawyers, and some things I liked about that industry is usually that they are able to pay you a better wage. At the beginning, I was having a lot of clients that were like really small, really strapped for cash, and I almost felt bad like charging them for my services. So from a profitability standpoint, kind of see what's working for you, see what you're wasting time on, and then invest in the things that are more profitable. This has also happened to me with my marketing strategy. I started YouTube to try to get more bookkeeping clients, and that has really worked. I would say about every month or so, someone contacts me to see if I can be their bookkeeper. And at this point, I actually have too many leads and I don't want more bookkeeping clients. And I'm not telling you guys that to be like, I'm so amazing, but it's just as an encouragement. If you are in year 1 or year 2 or year 3 and it's a struggle to get clients, I'm guessing it probably won't always be like that. If you stick it out, if you stay consistent, if you follow where the profit is, kind of be strategic in where you're making money, then my guess is you will also be at a point where you're not able to accept more clients. You are full, your time is full, or you're able to do more passive streams of income. So YouTube is that for me, or you could hire other bookkeepers to work for you, and then that becomes passive income as well. Number 3 is kind of fun, and that is hiring. So at about I'm not sure, maybe year 8 or so, I was at a place where I wanted to outsource some things that I was doing in my business. It's changed a little bit over the years, but I've hired a video editor, I've hired an assistant, I've hired a marketing person, and now I have a business manager. So she kind of helps me with like the big picture strategy for my business. And these are definitely not all full-time people. These are all contractors that work for me very part-time, some as little as like a couple hours a week, maybe up to like 10 hours a week. And I do have a video from a bookkeeper perspective about hiring an assistant. So at this point in your business, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just starting. There's no way I could ever hire anyone else. You might be surprised. So keep that in mind in the next few years. Maybe you can start by outsourcing something small. You know, maybe it's like $300 a month. And then you're able to get that time back and invest your own time back into your business in a way that's going to make you more money in the long run. Number 4 is practice contentment. So this one I've really tried hard to do every year of my business. Some years I'm better than others. But the reason why I quit my full-time job is so I could have more freedom in my life. For me, a lot of that has to do with my kids being able to be there when they get home from school, to go on field trips, to have flexibility if they're sick. So I really try to keep top of mind, like, is this business serving me and my lifestyle in the way that I want it to? And I do fall into the trap sometimes that I'm like, oh, every year I want to be making like a little bit more money. I want to be a little more successful. But at some point there might be a cap and be like, I'm going to be happy at this point. I'm not going to keep doing the rat race and hustling. No, I want to live my life. I want to grow slowly and make it sustainable. At the beginning, I did hustle more and I was more hungry for clients and I would just do anything and I would work nights and I would stay up. But now I've really tried to switch over to really protect my time and energy as best that I can. Thank you guys for staying till the end of this video. Definitely subscribe if you made it this far. My name is Morgan. My website is finepoints.biz. All right, I will come at you next week with another bookkeeper video. Thanks.